Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Tarot by Melissa, and today's video is going to be answering the question, how does your boss perceive you? So what we'll be looking into in this reading is how your current supervisor is viewing you and perceiving you in the workplace. We're also going to be taking a look at what your manager's current position is energetically with regard to their connection with you. So my goal with this reading is for you to not only understand how your supervisor perceives you, but to also understand kind of the position from which they're coming from. Okay, so I know that perception is not always the reality, right? Just because somebody is perceiving us in a certain way, that doesn't always mean it's the truth of our intentions or the truth of the situation. But when it comes to a work and career context, one thing that I have learned over the years in my career is that how you are perceived by your supervisor and others in the workplace can make a huge difference on the types of opportunities that you're offered, your progress at your company, etc. So I think it's always good to do a little energy check-in to see how others are viewing us. So let's go ahead and get into our disclaimers. Keep in mind, guys, this is a general reading, so some of the messages may resonate quite specifically with you, while others of the messages may not. As I always say, if it doesn't apply, if it doesn't feel like it's fitting your situation, simply release it and let it go. Please don't allow it to get you upset. Remember, these are general readings, really just meant for general guidance for the collective. If you did want to book a personal reading, all the details on how you can do that will be linked in the description box down below. Personal readings are always a great way to get a more specific and accurate read on your own personal situation. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our pile selection. We are doing a pick a color today versus a pick a crystal. So for pile 1, we have this blue cornflower color. For pile number 2, we have this yellowy sunflower color. And for pile number 3, we have this purple gray ghostland color. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about how your supervisor currently perceives you. Go ahead and select the color or pile you feel the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your choice, you can scroll down to the description box to locate the timestamp that will take you to your chosen reading. See you there? Hey pile 1, if you guys picked out this cornflower blue colored card, this is going to be your reading. We're going to be looking into how your boss is perceiving you, and we're going to kind of take a look at their current position with regard to your connection with them, which will help to provide us with some context around why they're maybe perceiving you and through what lens, why they're perceiving you a certain way and through what lens that perception is coming from. So on the left, we're going to have your manager and where they stand, and on the right, we're going to have how they perceive you. This card is going to represent the joining energy between the both of you, and I'm going to go ahead and start adding in some oracle cards just so that we have some context behind some of these energies before I get into the interpretation. So already though, I kind of can see that there have been some maybe challenges here with this situation, at least from your boss's perspective, because again, this is how they're perceiving you. So where does pile 1's manager currently stand with regard to this situation, with regard to pile 1? Okay, and how are they perceiving pile 1? Okay. Let's pull a couple tarot cards. Where does pile 1's manager stand with regard to their connection with pile 1? Oops. Too many. Okay, well, it came out anyway, so perfect. And how are they perceiving pile 1 here? The trickster. 3 of Swords. All right, so we're going to start here. I'm going to be building out with more cards in a moment. Okay. So first and foremost, with both of these blue colored cards being here, communication is definitely being highlighted here from your manager's perspective. You guys have the Cornflower, stand up to the elements. Your boss has Magi, reconcile differences. So I feel like your boss is perceiving you as somebody who is really not afraid to advocate for yourself. Someone who's not afraid to speak their mind. Somebody who may have a high level of resilience. But I have to say, with them showing up here in this position of reconciling differences, it is making me feel like there has been some conflict between you and your leader, or some sort of difference of opinion that has led to maybe a communication breakdown. They're wanting to come forward here and smooth things out with you through having a conversation. And with the 12th house being here, this card is talking about introspection. So maybe you and your boss have sort of taken space from each other as you guys are coming into this reading, or maybe you've taken some time to at least distance yourself from whatever the conflict was. And this card, it talks about things that are kind of hidden within us, like subconscious type of things. So it could be that in this situation, there are some sort of subconscious triggers bubbling up to the surface between the both of you that need to be addressed. The 12th house can also talk about like hidden enemies too. So I think that there could be an element of surprise that maybe like whatever issue has been going on, maybe your manager and yourself were kind of taken aback by it. Maybe not realizing that the two of you were not necessarily on the same page. But I do feel like from where your boss is sitting here, I definitely can see that they are wanting to, like, they are dissatisfied with what's going on with this situation. They're not happy about it. And I think that they are wanting to come forward to smooth things over through conversation here. We have this energy of the storyteller. This has ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols, making up tales that harm others. It's possible that your manager has like a very flowery way of speaking. Like they may have a very expressive way about them. And it could be that whatever has been said from their perspective maybe wasn't something that was accurate or fair or really served you in your highest good. But I feel with the storyteller coming in that they are wanting to come forward and kind of try to win you back over creatively. And it's interesting too with this Four of Cups that we have this like this painting here, right? It's like, I think that your manager is somebody who's coming from a place of being really creative and they're not satisfied or they're bored or something with regard to the workplace. And while I don't feel like there's really any negative intention here, I'm just kind of wondering if this manager, because they get bored, like I'm wondering if the way that they communicate doesn't always come across as like honest as it could. Because when I think of a storyteller, I think of somebody who's embellishing. You know what I mean? I think of somebody who is very expressive. They may take liberties around like the accuracy of things because they're wanting it to sound really exciting and interesting, okay? So I'm thinking that with the 12th house here, this could be a like kind of a shadow element to your boss's personality that they may not be totally aware of here. Now, how they are perceiving you with the trickster and the Three of Swords, they feel that you're disappointed about something. They feel that you are sad or heartbroken about something. And I'm wondering if this is also why they want to come in with this like more floral, flowery energy, because I think that they're wanting you to feel better. I think that your boss sees you as somebody who is different and unique, and that you're somebody who might be a little bit unconventional at times, but there is this energy of them perceiving you as being a bit manipulative, or maybe not fully honest, or someone that might be a little bit tricky to work with, tricky to deal with in some capacity. Again, like I said in the beginning of the reading in the intro, just because somebody's perceiving you a certain way doesn't mean that that's accurate to who you are. But at work, it is really important that we learn how to control the way others are perceiving us, because the way your boss and others perceive you can directly impact your ability to grow and achieve goals in the workplace, right? It can really impact the types of opportunities that you're given. So for some reason, your manager is perceiving you as being maybe a little bit tough to communicate with. Maybe somebody who is sharp or brutal or honest in your communication for some of you guys, or difficult to predict, unpredictable. And for some of you, I feel like it's a direct conflict with your supervisor, like a personality conflict or something. Whereas for others of you, I feel like it's more of an external situation. They're perceiving you as being very resilient, but going through a tough time here. Some of you guys might have been terminated or demoted or something like that. So let's see. Show us more, Spirit. How does their boss, like, where does their boss currently stand with regard to this connection? So we have Knights of the Round Table. And how do they perceive pile 1? How are they perceiving pile 1? We have Divine Drunkenness. Yeah, I think that your boss is wanting to uplift and support. Like, they're coming from this energy of the Knights of the Round Table. Let their love lift you higher, right? This is an energy of collaboration. This is an energy of coming together with the group. And I do feel that your manager is coming from a place of wanting to like loop you back into the group, especially if you've been feeling rejected or excluded in some way, or if you've been going through a tough time in some way. They're wanting to bring you into the fold. It could be that these reconciling of differences has to do with the group that you work with versus just them one-on-one. But I do see that they're wanting you to feel included in some capacity here. I continue to feel, though, that like they see you as somebody who's quite unique, somebody who is different from the rest. I'm almost wondering if, for some of you guys, your manager is seeing you as being a bit checked out. Because, or going through like a tough time outside of work even. Because to be drunk is kind of about dropping your inhibitions, right? And sometimes when we're drunk, we lose our way. Okay, like there's no other way for me to really put it. And based off the surrounding cards that I'm seeing with like the Trickster, the Three of Swords, it feels more like this manager is perceiving you guys as having lost your way in some capacity here. Like you've lost your sense of direction due to whatever hardship you've gone through. So let's just get a few more and then we'll close this out, pile 1. So your boss has the Mystic here. How do they perceive you? Oh, okay. We have the ocean coming up here. Yeah, so with the ocean, you know, the ocean is ebbs and flows. The ocean is water energy. It's emotion, right? And with it being with this divine drunkenness energy, I'm almost getting the vibe that it's almost like your manager, I think, is perceiving you as being really stuck or like subsumed, like by something that's going on. Yeah. Definitely curious to hear from you guys, like what you kind of are experiencing with your manager right now, like what drew you to this reading, because they're coming from a place of like wanting to help you. I feel like even though they may not be totally like perfect, we all have light and shadow attributes, right? With the mystic coming up, I feel like your boss is kind of in some weird ways a light worker to you, where like they are exposing the areas that have been hidden with the 12th house. And, you know, sometimes that can be very triggering. You know what I mean? It can be very triggering when somebody comes in and shows us certain deficiencies that we have, or shines the light onto certain things that we've got going on that really are not serving us in our highest good. But I feel like with this mystic energy, they are wanting to help you. They're coming from a place of transformation here with this butterfly. They're wanting to support you. I think that they're wanting to pull you out of this situation that you're in and bring you into the fold of the group. Whew. This energy definitely feels pretty heavy, pile one. So let's see. We're going to close this out with a few more cards here. So how does pile number one's boss perceive them? Music. So there's something about music being important here. Maybe, again, they're seeing you as being very creative. And emotion, yeah. They're seeing you as being emotional. They're seeing you as being creative, but they're definitely seeing you as being emotional. Let's see. Yeah. And they're trying with this organizational savvy. Whoop. Okay. Yeah. So they are coming from a place of realizing that whatever it is that you are going through, this is a complex situation here that they're trying to navigate with you. And when I see managing complexity coming up here, it's like it's a gray area for them. Okay. They know that it's not going to be a super cut and dry situation. And with organizational savvy, I think this really echoes the sentiment of them wanting to pull you back into the fold. But I also think that your manager might be coming from a place of trying to understand, like with their position within your organization, they may be also trying to understand what partners they should be taking in order to best manage this situation. Because org savvy is all about knowing which key stakeholders you need to partner with for what. Who do you go to for what within the organization? And how do you leverage those partnerships to your advantage? So they're realizing that this is a complex situation. And I don't think that there are necessarily malicious intentions here, because I continue to feel like they're just wanting to help you. They're trying to pull you back into the fold in some way. They're trying to smooth things over. But they're definitely perceiving you guys, pile one, as being very much like stuck in a rut or in your emotion, or just really kind of going through a tough time. And I think that there's some sort of element of your personality that they do perceive as being unpredictable that makes them maybe a little bit cautious about the way that they deal with you. So pile 1, this is very interesting. It's heavy, I'm not going to lie, tapping into this energy, but I would really love to hear from you. Like, what has been going on with your boss? Why do you think they're perceiving you in this way? Please let me know in the comments. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be updated when I post the next reading, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye. Hey Pile 2, if you guys picked out this sunflower color, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to be looking here on the right hand side about how your boss perceives you. And on the left hand side, this is going to be how they, or where they currently stand with regard to your connection, so that we can kind of understand where they're coming from as they have this perception. So you guys have the sunflower, meaning this is how your boss perceives you. This says expansion and new opportunity. Your boss is over here with the jade, which says act now. And the joining energy between you is the energy of Aquarius, which is beautiful energy. So right off the bat, looking at these two cards, I do feel like your manager and you are likely on the same page here with Aquarius. This is highlighting the energy of collaboration. And Aquarian energy is telling me that you guys may very well be on the same page in terms of kind of thinking about your individual roles and how those roles can support like the organization at large, or the community, or the project, or whatever is like the collective energy at large. I think both of you guys are really into supporting whatever that goal or mission is together. Okay. I love Aquarius energy here because it's also kind of talking about being able to embrace your own uniqueness within an organization and knowing how to use that unique energy to your benefit, to your strengths, like leveraging your unique strengths to better the collective. Now, for you guys, I think that they're seeing you as being quite expansive and bright with that sunflower energy being here. They may actually be perceiving you as being ready for next, being ready for new opportunities. And just the sunflower, when I think of a sunflower, like I'm having a vision in my head of how the sunflower like turns and opens up and faces the sun. So it's giving this energy of like you really being in the spotlight in a sense, or maybe even attracting a lot of really positive attention onto you at this time. So let's see. How does Pile 2's boss perceive them? How does Pile 2's boss perceive them? The thief. And how does, or where does Pile 2's boss currently stand with regard to their connection? The Hermit. Okay, let's pull some tarot cards and just kind of see here. Okay. All right. So let's get into this. I will say with Aquarian energy that sometimes this can be a very detached energy as well, like an emotionally detached energy, which can have its pros and cons, right? I think especially in the workplace, on some level, it's good to be detached. But Aquarian energy, like I was saying earlier, excuse me, is also about being able to embrace your authenticity, right? Embrace your inner weirdness and not be afraid to allow it to shine. And it's interesting, this is the joining energy, because I kind of feel like both of you guys in some capacity might be like withholding, at least from your boss's perspective. They may be perceiving like you as withholding certain aspects of your personality. And I think that they're kind of doing the same thing here. And I also think that both of you guys may have a tendency here to kind of keep yourselves closed off in some capacity with the Four of Pentacles and with the Hermit. But let's get into this. So I definitely can see that your manager is a strong leader with this Queen of Wands. At least this is where they stand. They are somebody who is, like the card says, they are a go-getter, they're independent. I love how this says a way shower, because that's really how I see the Queen of Wands at work. Like, this is somebody who's very strong in leadership. They are not afraid to kind of step up and say, hey, like, here's the direction that you need to go. Here's the direction that we need to go. And with Jade being here, they are coming up to you. They are coming forward in a very like action-oriented energy towards you, right? Like, this is their position. Makes a lot of sense with that Queen of Wands. However, with the Hermit card being here, I do think that your manager is sometimes a little bit fearful of how they're being perceived themselves. This says withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. Seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. So I do think that there is an element to your manager where they are self-focused at times, which we all are. And I'm wondering if they are kind of not sure about how they can actually help you. For as confident as they are, there's something about you that causes them to go within and reflect a little bit here. Whether it's that they learn from you and then they're like, oh, I need to kind of think about that. Or there's some sort of maybe challenge here that they don't really know how to fully help you through. So the way that they are perceiving you, we've got the Sunflower, we have the Thief, and we have the Four of Pentacles. I do think that your manager, I stand by what I said earlier, I think that they do perceive you guys as someone who is ready to expand, as someone who's ready for next, someone who's ready for some sort of a new opportunity, someone who is ready to be in the spotlight. But it's interesting because both of your cards, other cards, are very much withdrawn energies, right? The Thief is about kind of holding back, right? Sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. You see how he's very covered up here? He's got the heart, but he's like keeping it like folded over close to his chest. And the Four of Pentacles is also about kind of keeping things close to the chest. This can also be about imposter syndrome in my experience, where like we may not feel super confident in why we're in a certain position. Even though we're in that position, we may not feel like we belong, even though we've rightfully earned it. It's like, what am I doing here? You know? So there's something about your energy that I do think that your manager is seeing as being closed off or fearful or having imposter syndrome. And I do think that they are wanting to try to figure out how to help you blossom. So let's continue here. Pile 2. Where does their manager currently stand? What's their position? It's like your manager sees herself or himself as hold on, I just want one. As like being number one. Like I think that this is a very goal-oriented and driven, motivated person who wants to win and who likely wants their team to win as well with this Aquarian energy coming through. And I think that, let's see, where do they stand? Yes, you've won the lottery, make room for wonderment. I think that they're trying to see the positive in this situation. Like they do see the positive within you. And I think that they're wanting, genuinely, it feels like they're wanting to help you figure out how to come out of your shell and be more comfortable with shining your light. Let's see. Yes, we have a splendid torch, blaze brightly. They want you to be recognized in some capacity. They want your creativity to shine. You know, this card tells me that your manager sees you as somebody who has a high level of creativity and spark and passion and a lot that you can be able to share with others. But again, there's something here about a struggle, a fear of change, a fear of the spotlight, holding back your light in some capacity. And I think that with this card here, it's like your manager is seeing you as like, wow, this is a great person that I have on my team. Like, this is somebody who, it's like I've won the lottery. Like, I have everything I need now on my team with pile 2 being on it. But how do I get pile 2 to come out of their shell a little bit and show more of their light and show more of their talent? Okay. This is so interesting, pile 2. So let's see. Where does their boss stand with regard to this connection? These cards are so hard to shuffle. So we do have the fault line coming up. How are they perceiving pile 2? We have the self. Wow. Lots of beautiful colors coming up here, you guys. I do think that there is like a certain level of compatibility that your boss feels with you, a certain level of camaraderie with this Aquarian energy they feel with you, and with all the beautiful colors here. So the fault line is sort of like this energy of foundations, right? So I think that your manager is coming from a place of really wanting to make sure that the foundations of whatever you guys are working on are solid, because the fault line is sort of like when we're starting to see cracks in something, okay? And with the Aquarius energy coming up, with this focus on collaboration and collective energy, I don't necessarily feel like your boss is specifically thinking like, oh, you're the crack, like you're the one that's like causing the foundations to crack. But I think that there is something about this collective that they're managing, this project you guys are on, whatever the situation is, that's kind of making them feel like they need to address some types of deficiencies in what's going on here, okay? I feel so drawn to this pearl. Like, I'm thinking like a pearl of wisdom, where with this card coming up, I almost feel like your manager sees you as like some sort of a gift or gem, like you possess some sort of pearls of wisdom within you that can help this situation. Yeah. I think that it's like, I think that your manager is simply like wanting you to, because you guys notice how like there's this beautiful pearl with this kind of shadow of a self, like a person behind it. It's like this energy, again, of them seeing this gem of a person that you are and wanting you to really let that shine, because they're noticing these tendencies of you holding yourself back and having imposter syndrome, or feeling uncomfortable maybe with navigating something about this situation. I don't know. I just kind of keep coming back to this. So let's see. Pile 2. How are they perceiving you? How's your boss perceiving you at this time? This one wants to come out. Ooh, so we do have toxic workplace. That could be why the fault line is coming up here. We also have nature and grounding. And where do they stand? Branding. So maybe you guys are working on something creative. Stretch yourself, get uncomfortable. So yeah, they know that something about this situation is outside of their comfort zone with that Hermit card. Like, that's kind of what I'm feeling. It's like they're noticing with the fault line and the Hermit, something about this situation is requiring them to stretch their own leadership skills at this time. With branding coming up, again, this is making me think about the collective brand of Aquarius. Like, what's the image we're putting out? What does my group look like? What does the work look like? What do I want to be known for? I think your manager in a lot of ways is trying to make a name for themselves, which is why they're wanting to take action and maybe push and stretch you out of your comfort zone a little bit here. Because I see with the Four of Pentacles that they are perceiving you as also being in your comfort zone a bit. I feel like with toxic workplace coming up, this card really speaks to just certain things being imbalanced, right? Not necessarily always being on the same page. And I don't necessarily see them as perceiving you as being toxic. I actually think that they perceive you as having a really grounding presence about you, but it's almost like you're hiding out from the toxicity in a sense, and maybe not wanting to have the spotlight on you because of the external circumstances that are happening in the workplace. But overall, pile 2, I feel like your boss perceives you really well. It seems to me like they kind of see you as having a really high level of potential and holding potentially a lot of wisdom and just a lot of creativity and just insight that you can bring to the table. It just kind of seems like they're wanting you to come out of your comfort zone a little bit and be willing to try new things and be willing to make subtle changes here. So it's like I feel that you guys have this really grounding presence, this wisdom about you that's able to help mitigate toxicity that they wish that you would allow to shine more. So very interesting, pile 2. Please comment below. Let me know what's been happening at work and why you kind of came to this reading. Curious about your boss. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be updated when I post the next reading, and I look forward to seeing you there. Bye. Hey, pile 3. If you guys picked out this Ghostland color, this is going to be a reading. We're looking into how your boss perceives you on this side, and on this side, the left, we're going to kind of have where they currently stand. What's their position? Just so we can better understand like where they're coming from with regard to the lens they're viewing you from. So your boss has the energy of rain. They're perceiving you as Ghostland, and the joining energy here is the energy of Capricorn. So I want to pull some more cards, and then we'll get into the interpretation here. So where does pile 3's boss stand with this rain energy here? So we have networker. And how are they perceiving pile 3? Hedonist. Okay. And let's get some tarot cards here. Where does pile 3's boss stand? Six of Pentacles. And how do they perceive pile 3? The Fool. Okay. So with Capricorn energy coming up here, I do feel like there's this energy of, you know, high levels of achievement, being really ambitious in whatever this work environment is that you guys are in. Capricorn is also like the hardest working of all the signs. They are workaholics. There is a high level of ambition and willingness to achieve goals. Okay, steadfast hard work is kind of the joining energy here between you and your manager at this time. Your boss with water energy coming up here, I do think is very like emotionally invested in how things go with work. I do think that they are also emotionally invested and affected by how their direct reports perform. Specifically, we're talking about you in this reading. So the rain, the water energy is definitely giving someone who's emotional. But when I also think of rain, I think of purification too. So in this particular instance, I feel like maybe your manager is wanting to purify or refresh or reset something. So your boss is somebody who is a networker. They are a people person. They understand kind of like who they need to go to for what, and they're very good about building connections. And networking is really smart because it allows you to have that network of people that you have relationships with so that when you need something, you can be able to leverage those relationships. This says enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. So I do think that this is an empathetic person as well. And with the Six of Pentacles here, this is talking about a helping hand, bonuses, loans, things like that, okay? I feel like where your boss is coming from right now is that they are coming from a place of wanting to help you. They are coming from a place of wanting to lend a helping hand. The Six of Pentacles also does talk about like investment or giving support in some capacity. So there is something that they have identified here, I think, as an opportunity with you that they're wanting to help you with through dedicating a little bit more effort and time towards you, but also, sharing information that might be able to help you as well. Your boss could be like an air sign, potentially, with that networker coming up. I'm getting a lot of Mercury energy there, but they don't necessarily have to be. So the way that they're perceiving you, I think that they see you guys as being like really new to whatever this is, with the Fool card being here. Fool energy is like we are brand new to something. We don't really know what we don't know. I always feel like the Fool is kind of like that person who is, because they're new to a situation, it's like they can be ignorant to certain things. And I think that that's actually being accurately depicted here because this person, it's like they're starting off on this new journey. They're so excited. They're carefree. They don't know what they don't know. And because of that, there are sometimes tendencies to like walk off a cliff by accident. You know what I'm saying? You have blind faith in yourself and in your abilities, which is a beautiful thing. But I do think that your manager sees that you're new. They may see that you're green at whatever it is that you're doing. And with the Ghostland here with forgetfulness, I think that they understand. They have a clear level of empathy and understanding that you guys don't know what you don't know. There is that energy of forgetfulness here. This doesn't necessarily mean that you guys literally forget stuff like on purpose. But it's like that ignorance of like you just didn't know because you're brand new. And so I do feel that they are in a position here where they're wanting to help you out because they see this and they understand this about you. I also think that your manager perceives you as being very creative with the Hedonist card being here. This says inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. I think they see you as being very authentic to you. Somebody who's not afraid to be yourself, somebody who is just unapologetically who you are. Take it or leave it. This card, though, also does have a shadow attribute where it talks about pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges in the expense of others. They see you as somebody who definitely likes to enjoy yourself, enjoy your time. And this type of energy is a little bit different from this energy of Capricorn here. So I don't right now necessarily see with the cards here that it's something that you have to worry about, but I do think that they have an awareness to the fact that you like to enjoy having a good time, you like to enjoy pleasures, and this might not totally align with this Capricorn energy always. But again, they seem to have an energy of realizing that you're new and they want to help you navigate. So let's see for pile 3. Where does their boss stand? We have the unknown is your friend. Learn to embrace what's next. And how are they perceiving you, pile 3? Ooh, we have make the grade with flying colors. Remember you signed up for this. Yeah. So there is for your boss an element of unpredictability with this situation, even for them, right? They could be new at being a manager, or they could just be new to managing someone as new as you, right? As green as you might be to whatever your role is. So I think that your manager kind of is coming from a place of also not really knowing what the future holds with regard to whatever situation you guys are in right now. And they are sort of just in a space of taking things like one day at a time, you know. They definitely are recognizing that you have signed up for something, you know, that is out of your comfort zone, that you've signed up for something that might be a little bit counterintuitive to your personality. I think that you guys are very creative in nature, and it seems like wherever you're at is not quite as creative, right? It's a little bit more of that practical energy of just like good old-fashioned hard work. Capricorn coming up here. So I feel like they recognize that you have signed up for something that is stretching and building new muscles for you. And they may not be able to foresee just yet kind of like where you're headed, because you are new, but they are certainly leaning in. I think that they are coming across as being highly attuned to you with the water energy. And with this card saying lean in to embrace what's next, I think that they are leaning into you. You know, they're leaning into you to try to stay close to you, to make sure that you're doing okay, and to try to understand where they may need to direct you or coach you. All right, so let's take a look here at these. So where does their boss stand for pile 3? We have the shaman, so very like healing energy. And how do they perceive pile 3? The mother. Beautiful. So again, with the mother card coming up here with that hedonist, it's giving Empress for me. Like, it definitely feels that they are seeing you as someone who's highly creative, someone who's nurturing, you know, somebody who is taking care of their responsibilities. They see you as someone, yeah. I like to read the guidebook on this one sometimes because I'm still learning this deck. But this is talking about someone who is glowing, generative, creative, and nurturing, right? Like, so they see you as having all of these qualities. You guys may actually have given birth to something new, quote unquote, or created something new for the organization or for your role. They see you as really nurturing and really like stepping into the creation of whatever this is. They also, I think, see you as being very feminine too, in a sense. Like, it's kind of counterintuitive to this Capricorn energy, but I think that they see it and appreciate it for its uniqueness to this organization or whatever it is that you guys work for. So I want to look at the shaman really quick just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So shaman energy is fearless student and practitioner. It also talks about overpromises, blaming, hurting self and others. So this person definitely is coming from a place of wanting to be like a mentor to you. It is very healing energy. I do think that they have intentions of being helpful. I'm really being drawn to this hand here. It's like giving me lending a helping hand. And I think that they want to do everything that they can to make sure that you're successful and to make sure that your time is easy, that your transition is easy. I do think that this person may at times have like slight people-pleasing tendencies though. Like maybe they don't realize it, but I think that sometimes they might overpromise and underdeliver. That just might be something for you guys to look out for with this person. But I generally seem to feel a very good vibe off of them. Like, they have good intentions for you. So let's get a couple more and then we'll close this out for you, pile 3. Like, the energy from this reading is very light compared to the other 2 piles, which feels good. So let's see where they stand. Where does pile 3's person stand? I'm sorry, not person, but boss. So we have HR issue. So maybe you guys work in an HR field. We also have phone a friend. And how are they perceiving you? Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that they really do perceive you as really jumping in and embracing this ambiguity, really jumping in and embracing this new beginning where you don't really know everything. They also see you as expensive. So I don't know if this group like got hired making more money than they normally would offer to someone. But with the multiple figures coming up here, I think that they see you, they're associating you with money for some reason in some capacity here. Maybe you guys are in sales and they see that you generate multiple figures, but they definitely can see that you are trying really hard and that you are navigating things that come at you with confidence and doing your absolute best, even considering you're really green here. I think that your manager is kind of new in a sense because we have the HR issue with the phone a friend. So I think that they might still be kind of finding their own way at times as a leader. They're relying on their network to help guide them as it pertains to like guiding you, if that makes sense. And with the HR issue coming up here, I don't know if this has to do with the money or something, or because I'm not really seeing any like legit red flags here that they're perceiving within you. But this is like where they stand here. So it could be that this manager is just trying to figure out how to navigate being a manager, right? And the various issues that come along with being a manager, especially with this unknown. And I also think that they are still learning how to manage you, being so different and unique from the organization that you're in, right? They also, I'm getting, might be dealing with other issues right now outside of you that they're having to spend resources on right now. So I'm guided to say that if you guys have been feeling a bit neglected by your manager, or if you've been feeling like you're not really sure if you're doing a good job, I don't think that they perceive you negatively. It almost seems like they could potentially be distracted by other things and having to spread their resources thinly here for right now. So definitely very interesting reading, Pile 3. Please comment below. Let me know what's been going on at work and why it is that you asked about your boss. I'm curious to hear your stories. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be updated when I post the next reading. And I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.